Alright my friends, this video is for any of you who've been having a rough time now. This year has been, I've had some ups and downs during the year, health related, given, I just got a lot of like infectious illnesses over the year, a lot of upper respiratory infections and flus and such, and one food poisoning, and maybe travel related, whatever. But I was reflecting on why at times I was getting so frustrated with the experience when I know that I've dealt with worse times before. And I wanted to share these thoughts with you in case it helps at least hopefully one person out there. So back when I was 18, I just started college a couple months prior, I got sick with inflammatory bowel disease, and life-changing thing. Family life was tough, financial life was tough. It was just a tough time in my life, and I actually felt like that was a more manageable time in a way, or that it was easier in a way. I shouldn't say more manageable, I should say easier. Yeah, easier is the right word. The reason it felt easier at times is because when stuff gets really bad, when it's sink or swim, you don't really have a choice. You tell yourself either you're going to handle this and you're going to make the most of it, or you sink and you spiral into a negative place. And I think a lot of us, most of us, thankfully don't experience that level of low very frequently, if at all, in our lives. And instead we're punctuated by these other more irritating moments where you have a lot of illnesses, or you have, like, you know, these milder or moderate levels of downer without it being full-on life-changing, disastrous, sink or swim kind of thing. And I was reflecting that I think it's actually harder at times when you're in that middle area, because it can feel, especially if it's a prolonged, difficult time, it can just grate on you and it can irritate you. And what I relied on a lot as a GTI we just reviewed with the catback exhaust, sounds pretty good. Love these auto headlights as well. Wish my Miata had them. Auto high beams, I should say, actually. So when things get really bad and shit hits the fan and it's sink or swim, what I have found helpful to me is actually tapping into anger, right? There was a lot of anger when I was 18, a lot of frustration at certain people, at the world at large, because of, you know, how I felt that what had happened was unfair for various reasons, and channeling those negative emotions into something that is productive. So channeling that into, like, punching a wall would be stupid. That doesn't do anything. It just causes damage that you have to repair, and then you might break your hand. But channeling that negativity into something positive, they call sublimation, and it's one of the four, what they teach you in med school is, like, there's immature and mature coping mechanisms on your psych rotation, right? So one of the mature ones, like humor is an example, sublimation is another one, altruism is another one. And sublimation is when you take a negative emotion and then transform it, sublimate it into something else that serves you. So looking back to when I was 18, 19, 20, I had sublimated that negativity, that anger, that frustration into my academic work. And I felt like I wanted to be the best gastroenterologist that kids could rely on, because I felt like I was let down by certain gastroenterologists. So I channeled that into my studies to be the best possible student, and I'm actually grateful for that time, right? That's when we can connect the dots. Like Steve Jobs said in that famous, I believe it was Stanford graduation speech, you can only connect the dots looking back. So when I look back and I connect the dots, I say, hey, that tough time, I sublimated, and it taught me about work ethic, about my limits, about how hard I can work, and what I can accomplish. And it actually builds true self-confidence, because the reason why we have so many people with imposter syndrome is that they fake until they make it, and I don't think that's good advice. You gotta earn the confidence. You gotta build that evidence to suggest and support your conclusions of saying, hey, I deserve to be here, I've worked hard for this, and so on. So looking back, I'm super grateful, not only because of the things it taught me in the moment, but even now, I look back at, like, my business, as an example, Med School Insiders, that would only be possible if I was a high-performing student, to teach other students how to also be high-performing. If I was a middle-performing student, I'm not really in a position to then tell people how to be top-performing students because I wouldn't have done it before, right? So the first thing is sublimation, but there are some other friends, actually one other YouTuber who I'm not going to name here, but he's not in the car review space, but this other YouTuber who I had chatted with several times over the years, and he uses a lot of anger and frustration to fuel him and to guide him. And the issue I see there is that he relies on anger to propel him, which I think is fine in short doses for short seasons. But if you do it for too long, it can actually be toxic and hold you back and erode your sense of balance and the view you have of the world. It can make you overly cynical. It can make you overly stressed. And I started seeing these detrimental effects of using that as fuel later on when I was in med school. And I started I wanted to work towards a better balance. So don't rely on things like anger and this kind of fuel for too long, because it can be caustic, right? It's like the hot stone. You have this hot stone and you're holding it, you're burning your hands, even if you may be holding the hot stone wanting to throw it at someone else or something else, right? Whatever has wronged you, so to speak. I'm so proud when Americans know how to use a roundabout. We can do it, guys! We did it! So more recently this year, I found myself getting really frustrated. Actually, one of the reasons is, I've been having a lot of these like milder illnesses throughout the year, which have been incredibly irritating. And part of it is that I have this immunosuppressive drug for my inflammatory bowel disease, and I just get sick more often than the average person. And especially when I do international travel, I tend to get sick right after I come back. And was seeing my dentist actually, and with my IBD, we have higher rates of periodontal disease. And I have the most ridiculous, thorough routine for my teeth. Like, I've always flossed and brushed twice a day, for as long as I can remember. Never skip a day. Even back in college when you have those benders of nights, right? And for whatever reason, I'm having these issues, which, based on the literature, there's some immune dysregulation with inflammatory bowel disease, and that translates to the mouth. The flora in the mouth are then getting, you have an inflammatory response to them and causes some inflammation. And I'm like, I got such a diligent routine. I travel with like my extra interdental brush, and I do all this stuff for the last few years. I've been working with this dentist who's actually one of my good friends' relatives, and they've been doing a great job managing me. But despite this really, really, really overkill thorough routine, and we're doing everything we can to really have the most impeccable dental routine, well beyond just flossing and brushing, but also like interdental brushes and hydrogen peroxide and dipping this and that and using, we tried a lot of different things. I got bad news that, hey, even after doing the laser therapy, the laser therapy helped for a little bit, and now it's coming back. And I just felt so irritated. I was like, oh my God, I've been working so diligently on this for so many years that getting that news after we thought we had finally good news, it's not the end of the world, right? But it just felt like I'm putting all this effort and I'm not getting any results. And especially for something as important as your dental health, because we do know periodontal disease tied to Alzheimer's and other issues. And you guys know from my other channels, I'm quite into longevity and such. So what I had to remind myself, though, leaving is that, hey man, in the grand scheme of things, I should be so grateful. Sure, this is one annoying thing, and sure, getting sick this year has been annoying. But I should be so grateful that, first of all, my parents came to this fucking country, man. The fact that I'm born and raised in the US versus being born and raised in India, hallelujah, I am so lucky. And there are so many people in India who would kill to be in my position, just to be born in America in a nice neighborhood, right? And safe neighborhood. I went to good public schools, So that's the gratitude side. And I think gratitude is an important part of the equation. And then the other side is reminding yourself that, hey, in the grand scheme of things, this is such a small thing that, yeah, it's annoying. I tend to work hard on things I care about, and I tend to get the results I want. I like to earn that stuff after putting in the work. And there are a few areas where I felt like I put in the work and I haven't gotten results, like the gym as an example. I get teased from my girlfriend who says that she works out like 1/4 as much as I do, but then she looks like she lifts and then I do not look like I lift, which is a whole nother story. Anyways, yeah, I've worked with like different professional coaches over the last 6 years. And yeah, we have some conclusions that we've arrived at after trying a lot of things. But part of it is reminding yourself what you should be grateful for. And then the other part is reminding yourself that you've endured much worse, right? And I think back to my toughest time, which was again like 18 to 21. Those 3 years were really tough, not just for health reasons, but the other things stacked on top. And if I wanted to be a victim, I would have plenty of ammunition. Not only that time when I was 18, but even as a child, yeah, I did not have an easy upbringing by any means, but at the same time, we choose what we focus on and what kind of story we tell ourselves. And if you are going in choosing to view yourself as a victim, you are definitely going to overestimate your hardships. You're going to overestimate how bad your life is and underestimate the number of things that you should be grateful for. That helps to add perspective. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's necessarily about finding the absolute undeniable truth, because truth, unfortunately, is more of a moving target. There is a range of truth. And when I say truth, I mean what is a concrete fact that cannot be argued. If you talk about politics, by the way, I think it's hilarious that my car enthusiast and politics video, it was like my most controversial video, had the most number of downvotes. It was like only 60 or 70, maybe it was like 75% upvoted, 25% downvoted, which I thought was hilarious, because in the video I don't even talk about my own politics. I just say that, hey guys, let's not hate each other, because if you think, essentially, anyways, you can go watch that video if you're interested. But things that are in this range of truth include your own experiences. There's that Chinese proverb, and there's like this man in the town whose son breaks his leg somehow, and the townspeople say, oh my god, what terrible luck. And the father says, we don't know, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, we'll see. Then a war breaks out, and they're recruiting, drafting young men into the military, and everyone comes and says, oh, what good fortune, that broken leg has, helped your son not have to get drafted. And he says, hey, we don't know what's good or bad, we'll see. And the story just continues in that way. So similarly, with our own experiences, we can be the author. We can tell the story that we want. So I can look back and then find the positive in that. And that's not to say it's the only truth. I mean, I can find a ton of negative things to say, hey, my X, Y, and Z are worse off for these reasons, and you would not be able to argue that, because again, it's in that range of truth that is following the facts, but there's that room for interpretation, and I should choose the truth that serves me. And the truth that serves me is one that is empowering. It's one that puts me in a position where I'm better off, not worse off because of things. So, as an example, one thing that I've spoken about many times on the channel is about finances, how a ton of people, like, it was news to me, and maybe I was naive, but it was news to me only in the last few years how many people come from insane privilege. And I don't mean, like, when I say insane privilege, having a down payment on their home and having their college and med school paid for, or grad school, or like, all these things are such huge legs up. But if I tell the story that, oh my god, boo-hoo, I'm not from that level of privilege, I'm forever doomed, that's not a good story to tell myself. But if I instead say, hey, there are so many other entrepreneurs that have achieved so much with far less than what I started with, that is now an empowering story. Okay, cool, what can I learn from those guys? But at the same time, I should also have the caveat to say, hey, Kevin, remember, you did not start where these guys are, so don't compare yourself and then feel lesser than, or feel like you're lagging behind in life because you're starting at first base. These guys are starting already near the finish line. So there's a balance there. Like, what truth serves you? I want to find those entrepreneurs, those stories of people that started with less and did more, because I can learn and be empowered from those guys versus just being a victim and saying, oh, boo-hoo, my life is hard. These guys got to be careful, especially in the dark. My friends, I'm going over to the right to make more room, but still. Anyways, I hope my little rant is helpful to hopefully at least one person. Times are tough, but remember, negative times, they're just temporary. You will return to your baseline at some point, and that's just the homeostasis of the human body, including our psyche. But my friends, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.